skates. Okay.
Roller skates, because I can roller skate.
Okay, you should go down to the Santa Monica Pier and skate a little. Mel
No,
Kiper
you like being
Jr.
in the public.
is out with his first mock draft. Actually, that's not true at all. And he has Miami's Cam Ward going #1 to the Titans. Oh my gosh, you guys. Followed by Travis Hunter to the Browns and Shedeur Sanders to the Giants. However, a quarterback going first might not be the lock, according to Titans president of football operations, Chad Brinker.
We got to look at all the options, but the one thing I will say, if there's a generational talent, you don't pass that up. You can't pass that up. And if we feel that there's a generational talent right there, what we call a blue player, a guy that is a franchise-type player, the player that tips the field in your favor every time they step on the field, like you cannot pass that up.
All right, it's either need or best player available. Cam, would you go with quarterback or Travis Hunter at 1?
There's only one blue player, according to that reference, in the draft. It's Travis Hunter. I mean, when you think about the Tennessee Titans as a whole, there's not a lot of players that you think about just in the history of the franchise. Steve McNair, rest in peace. Eddie George. Those guys, they haven't played in 2 decades. So when you think about who's been the franchise player, you instantly thrust a guy like Travis Hunter into the fold. Now it gives you that type of identity that we want to go after. And, you know, generational player, he said it in his own words.
Nice soliloquy. Decent take, Cam. We disagree. I'm not passing up on a quarterback when I got Mr. Mayonnaise, Will Levis at the quarterback spot. I'll be damned if I'm going to do that. I'm not doing it. I need that. That brother need to go. I got to get me another quarterback. I can't tell my team that, you know what, work your tail off, bust your tail, do all you can, you understand, because we care and we're trying to win, and I'm going to have Will Levis as my quarterback. It cannot happen. Now, that's not to say you can't get rid of him and get somebody else. I understand that, please. I truly, truly do. But here's what I'm going to say to you. Shedeur Sanders ain't no damn slouch. This brother has that it factor. Everybody says he can ball. Now, if you can't ball and you got a bunch of Daniel Jones in the draft, I get that part. That's not what they saying about Cam Ward. That's not what they're saying about Shedeur Sanders. And when you have the kind of pedigree that Sanders has had, and he has shown himself to be a big-time quarterback, I'm Tennessee. I'm not dismissing that possibility. I'm not ruling that out. That kid can be the future, and that was Travis Hunter's teammate. Remember, Shedeur Sanders at one point was a Heisman candidate. It's just that Travis Hunter took it to another level because he's on both sides of the ball. You understand? And playing every down. It's absolutely incredible what he's doing. But y'all have always said you're not winning in this day and age without a quarterback. They don't have one. They don't have one.
I got the
I'm
pick.
going Shedeur Sanders.
I have the solution.
Okay.
If I were the Titans, I would call the Jacksonville Jaguars and try to trade for Trevor Lawrence. And if I was Trevor Lawrence, I would want the absolute heck out of Jacksonville.
I don't have no problem with that.
I would want the absolute heck out of the mess that is the
My
Jacksonville
challenge
Jaguars
to you, though,
right now.
Dan, here's my problem with that, Dan. Be reasonable. I'm going to trade my quarterback within the division.
If you're Jacksonville, first of all, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I am spurring this. Like, if I want out of Jacksonville. And if you're Tennessee, realistically, we're sitting here and we're trying to get all this rebuild, and I would be someone to tell you, I think Tennessee's got a decent football roster. Better than the first pick worthy type roster. Shedeur, and I haven't studied Shedeur and Cam well enough to make a definitive statement on where exactly I think they might be or whatnot. And Travis Hunter special, you don't matter in that conference unless you get a quarterback. As special as Travis Hunter is.
You don't matter in the sport.
Matter.
You don't matter in the sport.
So, and you got to rebuild Trevor Lawrence's mindset and his psyche and his confidence. But if I'm Tennessee and I'm looking at it all, I'm calling Jacksonville and saying, okay, because you don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. It's a mess right now.
Cam, help me out here. I understand what you're saying, D.O., but don't Trevor Lawrence have something to do with that? If he played better, wouldn't the situation be better? I mean, he has contributed. He has contributed to losses.
Yes. Yeah. But it's a mess down there, Stephen A. As far as everything that's happened since the season.
Doug Peterson did not do a good job there. Go ahead,
It's been a mess. But this is what I'll say. Will Levis was not even supposed to be drafted that high from the get-go. Let's just keep it a big buck. Okay, now, when you're talking about these draft analysts and these analytics and the statistics and these projections and this, that, and man, bro, I only judge a quarterback coming out of college on one merit. What did you do in college? What games did you win? Did you have a game where you just put your heart on the table to say, okay, yeah, that guy can ball? Because if he didn't show you that in college, Will Levis, Daniel Jones, if he didn't have one of those performances like that in college, what makes you think he's going to give you that in the NFL? Time and time again. So, yes, you cannot win without a quarterback in this league, but there ain't no Travis Hunters coming out in the next 1 to 2 years, bro. Offensively and defensively, we need, if I'm picking a guy, I'm thinking about multiple things. Can he play? That's number one. Number two, can he sell tickets? Can we get our franchise rejuvenated from this pick? And it's almost like damage control if you pick another quarterback. Go get a veteran. Go get a quarterback in free agency, more so than a younger quarterback, right? So
There's just not a lot of guys available, Cam. Like you like in free agency, are you going to go give a gajillion bucks for Sam Darnold? What happens with Stafford in LA? Daniel Jones? Like I think if you're Tennessee, and as much as you I revere Travis Hunter, he's not flipping your organization in a year or two. Like Travis Hunter ain't going to be the reason you beat C.J. Stroud. You got to go chase down C.J. Stroud.
But you can't have everything instantly. This is not instant grit. This is a Thanksgiving meal, Danny O. You got to take time. You got to put the pieces together. You can't expect a long time to be had with what you have. So it's going to take time. Stack your chips. Stack talent on top of talent on top of talent.
Yeah.
And then when we get the right time, we're going to be able to attack.
So in other words, take Travis Hunter. Listen, see, this respectfully, Cam, this is where you ain't making too much sense. So I take Travis Hunter, right? Let's just say for the sake of argument, I take Travis Hunter, right? And I'm going to put him out there on the field. And he's a guy to play both sides of the ball. The brother's versatility is not to be denied, right? So he's doing all of this. And let's just say 2 years, 3 years. This is football, bro, which you know a hell of a lot more than I do, and you clearly have mountains of experience that I have never nor would ever have. You're going to go out on that football field, and you talking about building something. It's hard to build in football because you can't rely on people's health. You can't book it like that. You got to take advantage of the moment while it's there. You can't have these cats on the field and think that they're going to be there by the time it takes you to find a quarterback. By the time you find a quarterback, them brothers going to be done.
And you got a new head coach.
Cool. All those points taken. Do you think that Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, any quarterback in this draft can instantly change a franchise?
I don't know.
More
Maybe you
so
wait
than
for
Travis
Arch
Hunter.
Manning.
I think Shedeur Sanders got to change.
I don't know that
Shedeur
answer.
Sanders got to
New York
change.
Giants,
Cam,
Mike.
I don't know that answer, but what was the
That's
Panthers'
just a
record
question.
when you got taken number one? What was the Panthers' record?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can't do that. It's different. It's
Exactly.
different. Of course, I'm gonna be a little contentious, and I'm gonna choose my side. But there's the thing where you have generational talent. When you have these keywords, these blue, what does he say? Blue players, bro. It's not a lot of players in the draft that he's talking about.
Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way right now, Mr. Quarterback. What you think about Shedeur Sanders?
Love him.
Why?
Love him.
Why?
Now, the thing about Shedeur, I am the guy that's been pushing him to the greatness. I want to see Shedeur picked early. I want to see Shedeur picked as the first quarterback taken off the board. But Shedeur also does not want to be challenged. I've said certain things that I'm just keeping it a buck and just say how I feel. That doesn't negate how I feel about him, his brother, his other brother, his sister, and his father.
Respectfully,
so
I mean, listen, I'm not refuting what you're saying. I'm trying to comprehend what you're saying. What do you mean he doesn't want to be challenged?
That got my attention too.
So
I'm asking. You on first take. You damn right I'm asking you.
There's been history there, and I've always challenged Shedeur publicly and to him. in ways that, like, bro, I want to see the best version of Shedeur. Shedeur has always played in a very convenient situation.
Okay.
I've said that numerous times. So I don't have no beef.
Okay,
I don't
well,
have no
I'm
quarrel.
not. But we're not asking you the question accusing you of having a beef. I'm saying from a football analysis perspective, when you say somebody doesn't want to be challenged, I guess what I'm looking at is, okay, you play for your dad, but just because you playing for your dad, that don't mean you want to be challenged. That doesn't mean you don't want to be challenged. That means that's the situation that you were in, and at the end, I get to look at you and see how you ball. You said you love the kid. You ain't got nothing but love for the kid. That means you know he can ball. Maybe there was no challenge because there was no one up to snuff to challenge him because he was that superior compared to the competition. And I'm saying you go to Tennessee, I'll be damned if I'm going to think Will Levis going to challenge him. I just don't believe it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe it.
I'm not saying Will Levis is the answer.
I know that.
Go out, get your quarterback in free agency, right? And build around the talent personnel. That's what I'm saying. If I'm in that position, I'm not banking on a quarterback to have a Daniel Jones type year, a CJ Stroud type of year. Let's be realistic here. But if I'm going to go into free agency and get a guy that knows what to do with the talent around him, okay, cool. That's what I'm saying. It's all about playing chess here. And now the success of young quarterbacks has changed the narrative of what we expect from rookie quarterbacks. And it's still about development. It's still going to take time for Cam Ward. It's still going to take time for Shedeur.
I feel you. I just look at and listen. When I watch Shedeur Sanders play, you throw the football. Yeah, you can scramble with it a little bit. Yeah, you had an offensive line that damn near got you slaughtered, especially your first year in Colorado. I get all of that. I've seen him in moments of pressure exercising a level of poise that reminded us who his daddy is. Poise.
Yeah.
You know, he just has that. Yeah. And I'm saying when you're a quarterback and you have that element, I consider that to be an it factor. You don't find that everywhere. And I think if you have an opportunity to grab him, you do it.
You also have to make sure that his dad is willing for him to go there. That will be a part of the conversation.
I don't think that's going to be an issue.